Welcome to this grammar lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about simple past and present perfect. So we have the simple past verbs and the present perfect verbs. When are these verbs used? Well, we can use both simple past and present perfect to describe actions that began and ended in the past, but there's a slight difference between the two. Let's have a look at some examples. I travelled to Dubai last week. He has travelled to Dubai many times. Now, as you can see in both sentences, we are talking about the past, right? Yes. However, the first sentence tells us when. When you travelled, or when I travelled to Dubai, which is last week. But in the other sentence, it says he travelled to Dubai many times, so when is not known. But both of these actions began and ended in the past. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit more about present perfect. Remember we said for simple past and present perfect, it talks about actions that began and ended in the past. But with present perfect, we can also use it for actions that happen more than once in the past. Let's have a look at an example. Sarah has read that book many times. And another one. We have been out 3 times this week. Can you see the slight difference between these two sentences? Well, with the first sentence, it tells you how often. In general, Sarah has read that book many times. In general. But the second sentence is a bit more specific. It says that we have been out 3 times this week, so it's giving you a specific number. So in these occasions, we would use the present perfect to describe an action that has happened more than once in the past. We also use the present perfect for unfinished actions. What do we mean by this? Well, we use present perfect for actions that began in the past and continue up until the present. Let's have a look at an example. He has had that bike for 10 years. Does he still have that bike? Yes. Did he have it in the past? Yes, he did have it. He's had it for 10 years. So he's had this bike for 10 years and he still owns the bike. So the action began in the past and continues up until the present. And therefore we use the present perfect tense. Let's have a look at another one. They have been married for 16 years. So were they married 16 years ago? Yes. And are they still married now? Yes, they are. So therefore, this is using the present perfect. So the action began in the past and continues up until the present. Okay, now it's time to look at some words that go with the simple past and the present perfect. Last, ago, in, and on. These are common words that are used with simple past, and they're used for actions that was completed in the past. So, looking at an example, last summer we bought a new horse. So as you can see, we're using last here with the simple past. Let's have a look at another one. So it says, we arrived at Jeddah airport 2 hours ago. So the simple past arrived is being used with ago to describe an action that was completed in the past. Okay, now it's time to look at present perfect. For and since. These words are commonly used with the present perfect to describe an action that's connected to the present. Let's have a look at an example. He has waited there for 3 hours. So he began to wait in the past and he's still waiting there, right? So the word for is being used with the present perfect. Another one. He has lived in this neighborhood since he was born. So it's an action that was in the past and it's again connected to the present. Good. Okay, now it's your turn to practice. What I want you to do is to have a look at these sentences and fill the gaps with either simple past or present perfect. Pause the video and carry out this exercise. Thereafter, we'll go through it together one by one. Okay, so the first one. I, and in brackets is using the verb get, a new job last week. So what verb could we put in there? Is it a simple past or present perfect? Got, which is a simple past. Good. Next one. He washed his hair already. So this action, is it a simple past or is it a present perfect? He has washed, which is present perfect. Good. Third one. She travelled to Turkey many times. She has travelled to Turkey many times, which is a present perfect. And the last one, summer end a month ago. Summer ended a month ago. So as you can see, the first and the fourth one are simple past verbs, and the second and the third are present perfect. Okay, now we're going to practice from the book. Go to Q Skills 3, Listening and Speaking, Unit 8, page 166. Okay, on page 166, exercise A is telling you to circle the correct verb forms to complete the conversation. Pause the video and carry out this exercise. Thereafter, the answer key will be provided. Here is the answer key for Activity A, page 166. Pause the video and check your answers. Okay, I want you to go back to the book, page 166, and complete Activity B and C. Activity B is asking you to think of a hobby or a sport that you enjoy. Note your answers to these questions. So use your own words and fill the gaps with your answers. Again, with Activity C, it's asking you to complete each statement with your own ideas. Because you don't have a partner, you won't need to ask questions to a partner, but you'll complete these exercises on your own. There won't be any answer key for these questions, because the answers will vary depending on what hobby or sport that you choose. For further practice, please go to your LMS. Thank you for watching this grammar video.